So it either times out, with your two-factor authentication, like your login, it either times you out or it can be. I know a few of you were saying it was slow. That can be, it can obviously be the system, but it can also be if your Wi-Fi is affecting it. It is frustrating because I've done it where I've spent ages on a listing, and I think this is the benefit of making sure that we've already done it either on paper or have got it in the Jungle Scout AI listing builder because your keywords bit is the main bit that you don't want deleted. The other bits where it's asking you new unit count and um, manufacturer details and all that, all the weight and size you've got anyway, haven't you? And you just kind of know what that's going to be. And even though I could tell that some of you were really frustrated, there was a part of me that was like, in a way, it's quite good because you're getting used to repeating the process. Because I have had people that have done a listing, and then the second time they've done the listing has been like, say, 8 weeks after, and it's like, oh my God, you're starting again. So even though it was really frustrating, the fact that you actually created a listing like 3 or 4 times, or in some cases, I think somebody said 9 times.
More than that.
Suzanne, how many times was it, Suzanne? I could see in the chat. I think there was you and Michelle. Yeah.
Frustrated is not the word.
Um, I know how frustrating it is because I've been like, fuck, when I refresh the page and it's nowhere in inventory, and like, for God's sake. So I totally am with you. But at the same time, I was thinking it's not a bad thing because they're repeating the process so that it's getting in their head what they need to do. Um, but I thought I would start off with because I saw Jamie's post with his labels on, his box on. He was like ready to go. I was like, check him out. Um, and I saw a few of others of you, and it's been great seeing all the photos come in. Um, there's also, I'll let you in a secret, there's also somebody that was gonna sign up at the beginning, and I only heard about it at an event. I was doing, some of you are belief coders in here. I was doing a belief code event on the Sunday before we started, and over the weekend they twisted my arm because they'd missed the date to come in and have actually come into the group over the weekend. And I was like, be prepared. You're going to be really overwhelmed and feel like you're behind. I know there was a few of you that have messaged in the chat or in the group in different places that I've seen where you're like, my product's arrived, it's really poor quality, or some of you had damaged packaging. And you've got to kind of use your common sense to think, if I receive this, would I be pissed off and want to return it or review? Because I can't even think who it was now, who showed some packaging that was completely wrecked. I would just remove all of that packaging, especially if it was in a set, because you don't have to have every item in a packaging if you've got a set. So you've got to it's hard for me to, that's why I was asking for photos for those of you that have posted like that. Some of you are like, it's really poor quality, I'm sending it back. If you are feeling like you've gone back to the drawing board, you've still got time. Like for me to do all of these steps in one, apart from sourcing, because sourcing, obviously, if I'm doing from China, is going to take a long time. If I'm doing it, obviously, from this country, I'm going to have to get next day delivery on something at this stage. But I know I can do the whole process in a couple of days. And once you get good at this, you can. Obviously, we're doing it over 3 weeks once you repeat them, I'm sure some of you may be able to see that a little bit now as you're getting through. So if you are back to the beginning, I just want to say don't give up because the whole point is to learn the process, isn't it? Because once you've learned the process and got through to that product selling, you know that you can rinse and repeat that process. So I know that I don't think Dylan's on the call, but I know that Dylan had said that he had items and Timu Queen has items as well because she's bought too much and she can return it. Um, but before she returns it, if it can help somebody, um, just to learn the process, that's what I would do. There's a kind of tendency to feel like if you've received a product or it hasn't worked out, to be like, oh, I'm not going to do this. You know what I mean? But actually, there is still an opportunity. Because like I say, one of the girls has just come into the group this weekend and is catching up, and is obviously knows she's catching up. And there's some people who I think actually it was Carolyn, wasn't it? Carolyn's on this call. I don't know if there's anybody else like that. Let me know in the chat because we could give you a little bit of time and fluffing up and help you come up with a scenario to learn the process for this next week. So I think there's still an opportunity. So let us know in the chat if that's you, and me and Becky can reach out to you. I know Becky's not been very well this weekend, so maybe reach out to me or the chat or something. And yeah, Claire's had a real nightmare. We were voice noting, was it yesterday? With her account, because long story short, she's got her Amazon book account and she's created a new account with different details, but she didn't put that it was limited. She put that it was sole trader, and Amazon knows she's already got this sole trader account. So they've not allowed her to open the account, and she's got to appeal. So, but she's not giving up. She's not giving up. She's carrying on. And this is what happens on this journey. We don't know. There's things that we can make mistakes on, or something that Amazon does that we're like, we're just not getting. But we can get through those hurdles because I can signpost you into the right direction. And you've just got to have that persistence. And things can happen at any time. You've got to remember, not there's a few things that we are going to do 2 sessions this week. One is about how Amazon, the marketplace, works. Do you know what I mean? And some rules and regulations. And then we're going to cover like launching and marketing and sales. But in that bit about Amazon, there's a few things like, things that I think are common sense, but people do make mistakes. Not to say that you haven't got common sense, but you just do it without thinking. Things like not buying your own product is a really important one, because Amazon will think that you're doing something fraudulent. But sometimes people get really excited that their listing goes live and they want to go and buy their product. So we're going to cover a session all on how Amazon and the algorithm works. So things can happen at any stage. It's just to remember that you can always get through it. I think I shared the other day, my account got closed down in like 2016. I appealed and they practically said it's not going to happen, to give up. But I didn't give up, and it took a few weeks, but I got my account back. So it's just remembering that, there's always a solution. So give me a show of hands. Yeah, and Claire's saying it might not happen. It will happen. It might not happen for Black Friday. And this is the point that I really want to make. That if anybody feels like, I think daily everybody's messaging me or emailing me saying they're behind, and it's good really, because you're feeling this sense of accountability. Whereas actually, if you were doing this and there wasn't the deadline of Black Friday, there wouldn't be as much as that accountability and urgency, would there? So if you do miss out on Black Friday, you can do a few days after. You've still got until, I think the last shipping will be like the 22nd of December. I can't remember when Christmas Day, what day of the week that falls on, but it'll be around that time. And I think I've also shared with you that Christmas Day is really high sales day for me, and Boxing Day. So you've all got time. And actually, once you go through this process, you might even decide to do a second product. Or you might be like, oh my God, I'm not going back to that listing. So let me know in the chat. If you've done your listing, put a 1 in the chat. If you've done your Amazon barcode and put it on your product, or printed it off ready to put on your product, put a 2. If you have done your shipping label, it's all packaged up for tomorrow, put a 3. And if you are feeling like, or if you've not even started your listing yet, put a 0 in there. And it's totally fine where you are at, because there's different things that have happened along the journey. Okay, so there's a few zeros. Obviously, I know. Oh, hold on, it jumped. So those of you that have put 0, so Carolyn, is it because of the product? Let us know in the chat. Sonia, let us know why, and Alison, let us know why as well. Yeah, the UPS drop-offs are everywhere, which is good. I kind of prefer the UPS drop off, because I'm a bit like, I don't know if it's because I'm a control freak, I just like to drop it off and I know it's there rather than waiting. It feels like I'm a control. So it just depends on the volume. So when I was doing the hoverboards, they were too heavy. They weighed 15 kilos each, so I was getting UPS to pick up. But if it's just like one box with a load of small lightweight products, just find your UPS and drop it off. Suzanne's not got all her items yet. I think there was a couple of you waiting for. It was like, were they delayed? What was what's the reason that you're waiting on? I like how TV's going, what are you missing? I tell you seriously, I had a call with Becky. She's got a warehouse full there. So don't be polite, anyone. She's probably got everything that you're looking at. Isn't that true? Um, so if anybody is waiting for a product to arrive, ask Becky what she's got because she might have, if you've got it from Temu, she might have it.
I've got cook. I can't speak.
Go
I've
on.
got cookie cutters.
Okay.
In
Yeah.
case that's what. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm turning it off.
Okay, Claire, so that's sort of working out anyway, isn't it? If you're waiting for items and you've got everything you've done for your listing ready. If you are waiting for products or there's a problem with your Amazon account, because I think there's probably two or three of you that have got a problem with your Amazon account, then it gives you time to make sure you've got plenty of keywords in there, getting your title, your bullets, and your product description. Remember your keywords, the priority for your keywords now while you're doing it. Title is very important, is number one. Yeah. So if you can get two or three keywords in the title, brilliant. I think when we were looking at Becky's, it was 9 keywords she's got. That's brilliant having a title. But normally, two or three, I'm fine with that. Then your bullet points, so your features, then the back end keywords, then the product description in that order. Because I do think someone shared a picture of it's either says generic search terms or search terms. Okay, cool. So Alison's got everything ready. She just got to do the listing and just waiting for Timo to deliver. Okay, cool. So some of you are waiting, some of you have got the listing sorted, but the three of you that put the 0, is it that you've just not had chance this weekend to start your listing? Or is there a problem? Let us know if there's a problem that we can help with, basically. So to Sonia, Alison, and Carolyn. Um, so what I thought we would do, because I know there was a couple of you, and let me know in the chat, because Michelle was doing her listing. So for those of you that have like, oh, you've got your listing sorted, you feel confident with it, is pick up. What we're going to do on tonight's session is just see if anyone's stuck with any of the listings. So you may or may not want to stay. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is dive into how Amazon works as a marketplace and then the whole launch, sales and marketing. But we've got all of this week to be doing like problem calls, I suppose, or if we can go through a listing or go through keywords or go through the shipping label, any of the bits that anyone's stuck at, we can screen share because I know that if something is overwhelming you, then you're not going to get it completed if you've not done the screen share. Or there might be an error box that's popped up or something like that that you need to get the answer to. So let me just check on the chat. Hi to Dylan as well as joined us.
Hi, yeah.
Um, Caroline said, I've got no stock, had to send everything back because it was damaged and incomplete. Okay, so yeah, maybe you can have a chat with Carolyn, sorry, with Becky, or even possibly Dylan if Dylan's got anything that you
I've
would.
got if I know now, I can send stuff tomorrow, Monday. You'll be there Tuesday on DPD.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what she wants.
And the same probably with Becky as well. So
Mm.
definitely, I know it can be disappointing. I've had it where I've had, when you're doing this, we're obviously doing this in a set time, aren't we? But when you're doing this over a few weeks longer, I've had it where I've ordered a sample from China and I've got it all clear in my head, and that sample arrives and it's a piece of shit, or it's just not going to work for whatever reason, and it feels like, oh God, I'm back to the drawing board. But what I would do is just try and encourage you to think of a plan B product for you to learn the process, and maybe reach out to Dylan and Becky. And that goes for anybody else as well. So, Michelle, let's have a look at, because your listing was doing something weird.
Yeah, it's let me just go onto the screen. It's not bringing up what yours had listing doesn't show the packing details. Mine says out of stock and then it says inventory 0. Should I share the screen?
Yeah. You might have done it as an FBM listing.
Oh,
So remember, when you do an FBM listing, it's live straight away because you're telling Amazon that you're fulfilling it. But as long as it's got 0 as the quantity, it's going to be out of stock. I've had it before.
yeah.
People have put like 10 in and they're live, and then the next thing they've got a sale. Do you know what I mean? So FBA is when we're sending it into Amazon. FBM is when we're
Yeah.
dealing with the shipping.
I
So
did right click on it and save it as for Amazon.
okay, let's have a look at it. Why don't you share your screen?
All right, can you see that?
Yeah, it's just saying it's starting now. Okay. Yeah, it is FBA. It is FBA. So it's out of
Yeah.
stock, which is fine because that all looks completely normal.
Oh, right, okay. So how do I do the shipping from here to send it? So I've done the barcodes.
Okay, so scroll to the right. The drop down edit or the 3 dots on the right hand side, you can see next to estimated fees. The 3
Yeah,
dots.
I
If you
need to move. I need to
yeah,
move
just move
all
everyone
of
out.
us.
Those 3 dots, this is a good point for everybody. So those 3 dots, I call it like your Bible. Not that I'm particularly religious, but everything in there is what you need for each individual product. So you can see the list options. You've got edit listing, manage images. You can copy the listing. You could add another condition if you had a damaged or used one. You can change it to fulfill by merchant. And this is the way to check if your listing's done correct. Because if it says change to fulfill by merchant, you know you've done an FBA listing. If
Yeah.
it's changed to fulfill by Amazon, we know that we've created a by merchant one, if that makes sense. So you want to just everybody just go and check that. Send and replenish inventory is doing your shipping labels. Set replenish alerts. You can set an alert to remind you to order more stock. Create removal order is if you're not selling anything at all and you need to get that stock back to you, you can create a removal order. If you want to create fulfillment order, I was going to kind of cover some of this tomorrow, but I'll just do it now. Create fulfillment order is
In a minute.
say you got an order off your website or TikTok shop or somewhere else that wasn't Amazon, maybe on social media in a group or Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes I put my products on Facebook Marketplace if I think, God, I've got a lot of stock here, I need to get a bit of an accelerated move. And I can receive the money directly from that person, like bank transfer or PayPal or share my Stripe link. And then I create a fulfillment order, which is you creating an order. So it brings up an order form and you put the customer's details in and it just ships direct. So you can use Amazon as a warehouse, basically, just to ship out product. If you sell on Etsy is another example. Or if you have someone who's like, I am really pissed off, and they're sending you all these messages. Normally they just deal with Amazon, but they can contact the seller. If they're like, it's damaged and or this is missing, then I would just send them another one to shut them up.
Anna, so your only overhead is the fees that we'd normally pay anyway.
Your overhead is just the shipping.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What a difference that can do. Well, that's clever.
And there are ways, if you are getting from Etsy a lot, or if you're getting from your website a lot, or you're getting from TikTok shop a lot, you can link them up automated.
But it's good when DPD go down and others as well. You've got an alternative.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But it's just good to know if you want to also promote your product in other places. Because some of you, I know, have got other businesses or groups that you're in type of thing. And then print item labels, as we know, is the barcode, which always stays the same. So when we're restocking, we just get some more print item labels. And then obviously you've got close and delete listings, which you don't want to do unless you duplicate the listing. And then change shipping template is if you're shipping, because you can create a shipping template based on yourself, if you know what I mean. As in your shipping, if you're shipping out. And merge duplicate product if you had 2 listings you wanted to merge together, which I have never pressed in my life. I'd prefer just to delete one. If you scroll up, so it's send and replenish inventory. And if you want, we can do it live, because I think if anybody is creating a listing and about to do this, another reminder won't go amiss. Because I think the more times you see this, the more different scenarios or different questions that people might have for, and it might remind you for different. So the first thing you want to do is put an address in there, and you may want to. You can put your address in, or you might not want to share your address with everybody on the call. It's up to you. You
No,
can
that's fine.
stop
Yeah.
sharing if you want. I always get panicky when it's people's data. I'm sure nobody's going to come and turn up at your house.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So I'm doing that, select an address.
Yeah, select an address. There might, I know that you've not done one before, so it won't be in there. But when you're shipping from China, this is where you put in the Chinese address, and you have to do it, because I once did it where I was shipping from China, but I put my address in, and it ended up giving a completely different way, far away for the Chinese. So it cost me more. It was a right mess. I had to go and edit.
What happened if you're using an agent, Anna?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When
Oh,
I'm
China agent, yeah.
Charlotte, let me just do this call, please.
if I'm putting my Chinese agent in here, it's important to put it in, because I did it once where I just left it as my address, and Amazon picked the nearest warehouse. So they were picking the nearest warehouse to the UK. Really,
Sorry.
don't worry, I'll just mute you for a minute. Amazon, basically, they picked a warehouse near to the UK when they should have picked a warehouse near to China. So it's going to cost me more because it's coming from China. So this is important, the ship from address. It doesn't matter when we're in the UK because we're small, but when we're shipping to the US, it's massive. So we've got to make sure that we give them the correct direction that it's coming from, so it comes up with the nearest warehouse. Yeah, I feel Michelle as well. I'm disappointed I've not got those days now. I've just got grumpy teenagers, but I remember them well. I was sharing with someone actually in one of the other groups, I think it might have been Entrepreneur State, about my first webinar that had 6 people on. And Ruben woke up in the middle of it. He was only 18 months at the time. This crying got louder and louder. And me being so stupid, I decided to pretend it wasn't happening. So it looked like a completely heartless mum. And just sat there. And I watched it go from 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. People leave. I remember bursting into tears late that night going, I'm never doing a webinar again. And yeah, now obviously I just repeated it, I think, the following week, and it was fine. But
Now it's drum and bass.
yeah, exactly. Cool. Okay, so right, you've popped that in. So individual, you can either send product in individual units or case packed. If you click case packed, it means that you're telling Amazon that everything in this box is the same product, so you only need to scan one of them. If it's individual, you're saying you need to scan everything in this box because it's not the same item. There's lots of different things in this box. So if you are doing a couple of colours or 2 variations, or you got 2 products, I don't know, have you got 1 product? Oh, I've muted you, haven't I, Michelle? Let me unmute you. Say that again.
Yeah, it's each product is the same in each box.
Okay. And how many are there?
50. So I was the one that said a couple of them were slightly damaged. I did put the pictures on. It's only slight damage to the box, but personally, if I was getting a gift, I wouldn't want the box damaged. But I did post them on Facebook, but I didn't get anything back.
Were they
Slightly,
blue?
yeah, slightly like blue and white boxes.
I think what I thought you could have done was put the Amazon barcode over the bits that were.
Yeah.
Have you put the barcode on yet?
Not yet. No, I'm printing them in the morning, so I can do that.
I thought I think there was one bit on a corner that you might not be able to, but there was one bit that was just slightly, because it is the original packaging of this cocktail.
Yeah.
I personally thought you should use those boxes. I thought they were okay-ish. You know, you might get someone really fussy, and that's just the chance you're gonna have to take. But I thought kind of like within my range of passable. But what I would do
Sweetheart.
is put a sticker if I can. You can't put a sticker over a corner, it's got to be on a flat bit.
So the worst one I can put a sticker on. The other one was only a nick in the cardboard at the
Yeah,
side.
I think that was fine. I'm
yeah.
sure like blue and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see them. Sorry, I didn't reply. I remember thinking
No, it's fine.
they were okay. So yeah.
Yeah.
If
So there's 50 of them
you got
spread
the
out
size,
over 6 boxes.
have you got the size and the weight?
Yeah. So the
Okay,
two
well,
of the
let's create a case then.
yeah.
So what you would do is you'd click on the individual units where the arrow is. And what we want to do, and this is good because the video I didn't do this, we want to create a new packing template. So this is when we're sending in everything the same. You can also do individual units when you're doing everything the same.
Yeah.
What you're doing is you're saving Amazon time because you're just basically saying everything in these boxes is the same. So you
It's
only
the
need to
same.
have one. So
Yeah.
you put in here like something for you to remember, like cocktail shaker, 6 in each box or whatever it is. Whatever the template is, so you know that it's that number in it. I would put a number next to it. You know, on the title, I would put like,
Oh, right, yeah. So 2 of the boxes have got 9 in, and 4 of the boxes have got 8. So do I need to do this once for the 4 and once for the 2?
yeah. So do one for
So,
say 9 instead.
yeah.
So case packed, unit in box 9. Then you want to put the
No. So I haven't got the dimensions of the big box at the minute. I could get it like quickly if you wanted me to, but
so what you would so you've got, so just so you know, you've got to put the dimensions of that in and then the box
Yeah.
weight. Click close.
Yeah.
And then you also put select category who preps, and you say that you prep. So you put no prep needed in that
Yeah.
select category, because you can, Amazon do run a service where they can prep their end and they can also label your end, but you know, it costs us money, so we can do it ourselves. So you would need to put the box weight and the dimensions in there, but if you just close it a minute, once you put that in, if you follow the video that I did, this is the main bit. Once you put, you'd put the details of that packing template, and then here it would pop up with 1 box 9 units already completed because you filled it in. And then you click submit, and then it takes you to the UPS. It tells you how much it's going to be for Amazon UPS to pick up, for you to drop off at a drop off. And then you agree to that. It'll be like 2 or 3 quid. And then the next bit is printing off the labels. And that's all on the video. The trickiest bit is this packing details. So you just
so how do I, if I save the first one that's got the how did I get onto that other bit?
So yeah, it's in there. It's in that little pen.
Oh, right, yeah. So if I redo that, how I had it before, how do I then, so that's the times 9 boxes, I've got 2. How do I then add the next 4 boxes on?
Click close. And then can you see where you've got all FBA SKUs? You're on pre-selected. If you click on all FBA SKUs, you then pick that product again. If you click on it. So you then click on that product again, and then do another packing template for, the first one was 9 in a box and the other was 4.
8. So
8.
yeah, so I've got 2 boxes of 9 and 4 boxes of 8.
Yeah, so you need to create a packing template for a 9 and an 8.
Yeah.
And then on one you're telling them I've got 2 of these, and on the other one I've got 4 of these. It'll total them all up, and then it'll give you 6 shipping labels at the end.
Brilliant.
So if you the idea that I see this week is that there could be loads of screen shares of this, or loads of screen shares of finishing off parts of your listing, or problems with categories. That's what I want to do this week, because it's what's going to help everyone the most. Because I want to make sure that everyone's clear in their heads of getting these things done. So as soon as you've got the way, you could even try and do it now while we're answering questions of everybody else or something, or if not, tomorrow. I'm sure once you put the packing template in, it'll start making sense.
Yeah,
And
I
it-
have been through the PDF and that as well. It does make sense. It was just because I've got the 2 different weights over 6 boxes.
yeah.
I wasn't sure how to do it twice for the same product, but
Can
yeah,
I-
that
you
makes sense.
also- worst case scenario, if for some reason you can't seem to add the second lot like you do the 9s, you can just create a new shipping label and have 2.
All right, okay.
If you're doing that from China, you wouldn't want to because it would cost you double. But you're doing it yourself and you're dropping it off at UPS or getting to UPS to pick up, so it's fine. But you just go to that all FBA SKUs and select the product again and do another packing template. So
Yeah.
have a play around it, and you can also send them as individual. It'll take longer to receive because Amazon's got to scan them all. So it's just quicker because you've only got to scan one when you do it case packed. And so it'll get into the warehouse quicker.
Yeah.
Which is what we want with Black Friday coming up. So yeah, have a if you want to stop sharing, just I'd have a play around now or later. I'm sure it'll be fine now you've got through that part anyway. At least you know that your listing's been done. And I think also if anybody else wants to just check over their listing, again, this is what these calls are for.
Yeah, the
So,
pictures aren't showing yet. Is that normal?
yeah, sometimes I have to save my images a few times. So
Okay. It did say let them update, give them 24 hours for an update. So,
yeah,
all right, okay. Thank you.
just check in the morning.
Anna, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, no problem. Just 1 second, Deb. Was it about Michelle's thing or was it a new one? Because I'm just reading the questions here, but go for it. Go for it now.
Do you know what it is? It's just back to my listing. I finally managed to get it done today. I do have to check it over because I'm not 100% sure. You know, my bundles, you can buy one single, one
Oh yeah,
bag,
1 sec.
or you can buy 6. And you know, the part where it asks for the quantity, the units. So obviously there's 40 of them, but if I want to sell 6, do I still put 40 as the quantity? I was a bit confused as to what to put in for that.
So
I only put,
remember so how a variation listing works, this is a really good question as well. If you've got different colours, different sizes, or in Deb's case, she's doing a 1 set and then a 6 times set.
yeah,
It's for like sleepovers, isn't it? It's like the sleepover bundle, really.
yeah,
So when you're creating the listing, you're creating the parent. The parent isn't an actual listing; it's an umbrella over the children. So you have like, imagine it being like the surname of this child, so that all of those products are a party set, but then the children is a 1 set and the other child is a 6 set. So when you're doing the parent, I would say, I would probably say go with the 6 one anyway, because you want that to be available on that particular listing. But then you can go in individually and edit, but the unit count I don't think you can edit afterwards. So you want to do it as a large set to cover yourself basically.
right. So next to the single one, just the ones, I put 40 for the unit quantity, and for the 6, because there's only 40 in total, I'm thinking, well, if somebody wanted to buy 6 times 6 is 36, and I just put 6 for the 6 pack.
So it should be 6 and 1 then, because there's only 3 items in 1 set, isn't there?
Yeah, in 1 bag. Yeah.
Is this for
If you were,
this is the unit count, isn't it? Which
you know
box?
the bit. Oh God, it's
Is it the unit count? Because I would be putting, if it's the unit count, I'd be putting 3 in the 1 set and then 3 times 6, so 18 on the other set. I was trying to work out where the 40 was coming from.
Right. Yeah, sorry, I've maybe picked it up wrong then. I've done that wrong.
So you were thinking about the amount of units you were sending in?
I was, so that's wrong.
It's the how many units are actually in that set.
In the bag.
in for that customer. What is the customer receiving?
Ah, right. Okay. I took it to be quantity, meaning the whole, how much, how
It's
many
like the whole. So
items.
if it's the one set, I think there's three. Is there three items in it, or is there
There
four?
is,
Yeah.
yes.
So in the one set it'd be 3. In the 6 set it would be 18.
Right. That makes sense, Hannah. Okay. Thank you for
Right.
clearing that up.
Cool. And it's like it is these kind of questions that we need answering. So these are all really good questions because they're all you're getting stuff done questions, which is fab. So I'm just going to go and check the. I'm just laughing at Claire's comment. Becky, the modern only fools and horses. I hope you're making more money than Del Boy. I love it. Got my products all bagged up. I know. This wasn't planned that there'd be Dylan and Becky kind of selling stock in the group, but I think it's absolutely awesome because it means that we're all for one for all. Just waiting for Timo to deliver. Should be the next few days. I'm going to start to send everything. Right, you can search local warehouse on Timo. That's Timo Queen. My fulfillment cost is more than I thought, not coming up with as much profit. So remember, your fulfillment cost will be based on your price. If you've got a sale price, it'll be less. So I don't know if you have that, just one thing. So on when we were putting the prices in, we're putting the RRP and your price, and then we're doing a sale price.
Yeah.
It bases it on your price, the fees on the listing. But when you're selling at the lower price, it'll be less. Just in case that's what you were basing it on.
I'm basing it on the figure that I put in originally, but I've put a higher figure on and selling it at the price that I put in the calculator. So it's still coming out lower. Yeah.
Lower. What
So
the
if I've done anything that I shouldn't have done somewhere, or whether it's just costing more.
it might be is it
About
was it definitely the
650 grams. It's not particularly heavy.
Was it to do? Is it to do with the size and weight? It's the same size and weight that you put on the calculator.
Well, when we were doing the calculators originally, I didn't know what the. Oh yeah, well, I was putting the size. I would have put the size of the bag.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know why.
because there's basically ratios with the postage. Like it's like when you go.
Coming out as domestic standard parcel. Is that right? Is that
Yeah, that sounds right. It sounds right. And it's definitely
Amazon fees £3.95. So it's 3.75 plus 20p for the storage or whatever it is. And then fulfillment cost came out at 5.84,
that's quite high actually.
which I thought was quite high. When I look back at, I've gone back and looked at the examples that I looked at the time off of Amazon.
It is
Calculate, working.
Yeah. Just check what the weight is, and maybe go back to the calculator. Just double check the weight more.
It's saying the actual weights. It's saying 6499999 grams, but I put in 650.
Yeah,
So it is calculating it as the actual weight that it is, but it's saying I've abbreviated because I ran out of space now. I can't remember what it says. Standard weight, the first weight it gave was 2.926 kilograms, which means nothing to me because I never put that in. And then the actual weight, 650 grams. And then DS fee was 2.9, whatever DS stands for, I can't remember now.
it's a new
2.9.
Yeah, it's a new fee that this year Amazon's, because of the government pressure with VAT and stuff, there's now a fee for digital services.
That's what it was. Yeah, yeah.
Whatever
So,
that means.
so it's but it's given the first weight of 2.9 kilograms, but I don't know where that's come from because I've not put that in. So do you think it's weighing it as heavier than it, even though the actual weight is 650?
One thing to note is when it arrives at Amazon weigh it. Not trying to promote my Amazon days, but when you go to Amazon,
So that figure will be corrected if I've
they
put it
show
wrong.
you that when it arrives, they weigh it again.
Okay.
To make sure that you got the weight wrong.
Do they measure it and weigh it as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets into it goes into one of those either letterbox or bigger, or
Yeah.
It's like, if you've ever seen The Matrix, it's like a laser thing. DPD have them. They scan the box and it gives them instant dimensions in
Okay.
seconds.
So it may change once your stock arrives if there's
Right.
a
Okay.
date somewhere, but I would check. It might be something either on your shipping label or in your listing that you've put somewhere a higher weight or something.
Haven't done the labels yet, so
Yeah, maybe just go through everything in case you spot it, but they will spot it. Also, you can request to Amazon, like, once you've made your first sale and you see what they're charging you for fees, you can ask for it to be
okay.
redone if you think the fees are high
Mhm.
as well.
Okay. I mean, it's making a profit. It's just not as much as I thought. And I know this is all a learning curve, and I probably haven't actually made a profit because it's cost me a lot more. But I'm just trying to work
Yeah,
out the
it's
basic.
good. Yeah, it's good that you try to work out the fees now, which is good.
Yeah.
Everyone should do. But one thing I was just going to say is that if you are, you know how I did your and RRP price, so you might have 29.99, but you sell it for 23 or 20.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm pretty much doing. 29.99 down to
Oh
24.
yeah. Okay. God, that's spot on.
You couldn't have got it any easier. Yeah. And you haven't seen it.
I know I haven't. It's just that's the normal kind of range that I do. So if you're doing something like that, then it will base it on the fees on your listing that it highlights will be based on the 29.99 and not the 23.
Right.
When you sell, you'll see that it's a lower. It's because they base it on your price, not your sale price on the list.
Okay. Should I know you suggested doing it the other day, and obviously seeing Michelle's done it as well. Should we put that knockdown price on there? Because obviously when we look on Amazon, we see a lot of reduced prices. You know,
I
it was
do.
this,
I have it.
now it's
I just have a sale price all year, and then
just in people's heads, oh, that was such and such a
yeah,
price. I'm
you do
getting
it
it for a good
yourself. We do
deal.
it all the time, don't we? We're marketed all the time. I
Yeah.
got I came on here from Uber. I'm always using Ubers, and it was like, oh, book your train ticket with us to get some points. And I was like, oh, that's good. I was like falling for it. Do you know what I mean? We see it all the time, and we're encouraged by all of these deals. So I constantly have a sales price, and it's that price that I'm changing. Your price just stays the same. There are also voucher codes, but they've just changed it over the last month that voucher codes now you can only put on when you're selling, which is annoying. I used to put them on as soon as I launched. So it was like you may see them in red or green
Yeah.
and then where it's got like 10% off or 5% off or £1 off.
That sometimes makes a difference to me as to which one I choose.
Exactly. It's like putting a big green highlighter on your listing.
Yeah.
So as soon as you start selling, again, I'll be talking about that this week, but it's fine.
Okay.
That will be putting these voucher codes on, but they have done this thing where you've got to get your first few sales before you put it on. So I'll be talking how I'm doing that now. But it is just like a market, and you know what? A lot of customers forget to tick the box because you have to tick the box to claim it. So it's a subconscious like highlighter, and then actually people don't claim the discount. So it's a lot of mine are like 50-50, 50% claim it. So really, really good. And like you say, sometimes people are searching. You can search in Amazon for voucher codes. So some people are just searching for those discounts. So you're losing out if you don't do them. And you have to work out your numbers accordingly. So if you're needing to sell at 24, then you need to really put your price up to 25 if you're gonna have a quid off or whatever. So also when you start getting it might have even come up in your account, you might get a warning about VAT. You just saw something about VAT. You need to basically the Amazon run a VAT service where they can manage your VAT for you. And it's again because they've always been in the news at allowing sellers to not, be tax-free basically, not regulated. So normally it's when you get your first few sales, you get this email to say, you need to give us your VAT details. And obviously, a lot of people obviously not VAT registered at the beginning. So you fill in a form to say that you're exempt from that. But if you want to be ahead, you can actually search in the help, in the bar at the top. It takes you to different resources. And if you put VAT registry or VAT, just put VAT, you'll be able to find a thing about it with a link. But they normally just send it out as soon as you start selling, and then you have to fill in that form. Why have we got wetsuit in here? I just saw Jamie had put wetsuit. Oh, is there a sizing rule about the big box that you send everything to Amazon in? I guess besides being super heavy. So yeah, if it's over 15 kilos, you have to put a note on it to say that it's heavy. Say that again. You're muted. I can see you going like this.
Dancing. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be like a certain size or meet a specific requirement for that box besides not being overweight.
There
It
was a-
does.
there was-
I've tried to send in a box that's 70 centimeters and it can't be over 63.5 on any
Yeah.
length. So
There's
I need
there's
to
a
find
link.
some more.
There's a link that I shared, and I'm sure I'll put it in Kajabi as well, but I'll go back and make a note of that just to check that it is in Kajabi. But I know I shared it in the group because Dylan liked it. And I
That's
thought
fine. If it's in there, I'll find it. That's fine.
it was a question that Dylan had asked about sizes, of like your cartons, and because obviously when you start doing heavy goods and you start doing palleted goods that are bigger, you also need a pallet label. But that's for when you're getting containers of stock in. So I will check that it's in Kajabi, and after this I'll try and find it in the group and tag you in it, Claire, because you know what it's like in the group. I think it was a link, not a file. I've just done it for Cyber Monday to hopefully complete the other listings. I have a question on Jungle Scout. It's saying action required. Your data is inaccurate due to missing permissions. Please update your permissions. Oh. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Holly. Is Holly here? Yeah, Holly's
Hi,
here.
Anna.
Hiya.
Yeah, I've just gone on to Jungle Scout and it's saying at the top it's got like a red bar that's saying your data is inaccurate due to missing permissions. Please update permissions to avoid data gaps. Then I click on it. It says user permissions. It says you're about to give a new user access to your business.
Are you sharing it?
No,
That's really weird.
yeah.
I've got to say, my mind's blank. I've never known any question like that. I don't want to back it and go, oh, well, what you need to do is, but
Yeah. Oh, God.
Jungle Scout themselves are really good because we, as a group in my Amazon 101 group, we decided to set upon them and basically decided that we wanted Scout. So I did this collective email and we hounded them and basically said, look, we all use Jungle Scout.
Yeah.
Don't give us a better discount. We're all going to go and use Helium 10. And they gave us a deal if we all bought it annually that was better than their
Amazing.
annual
Oh,
offer.
wow.
But I had a whole heap of chat with the lady in there, and I've reached out to them before for other things, and their help support is pretty good.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I would not. I don't want to blag it and say I know what that is. It sounds
Yeah.
like you're making a new user on your account, like they've spotted that you're sharing it or something. But it sounds a bit dodgy to me. I would just say, look, I'm a bit concerned whether this is a security
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Because I've never.
Logging in from two IP locations.
Yeah, it could be.
Weird.
Home and work,
Okay.
home and out on the road and mobile.
I would just contact them directly and they'll tell you what it is or what you need to do, but I wouldn't do anything until
Okay.
they've given you some direction.
Thanks.
Is it actually giving you missing data?
No, I've just gone on to do another listing and it's just the top, it's all red and it says action required. Your data is inaccurate. Due to missing permissions, please update your permissions.
I think it must be an internal error that.
Okay.
Mine is the same, Anna. I've got the same on mine.
Oh, really?
Has anyone else got that? I would contact Jungle Scout, both of you.
Okay, it does. I've got my email address come up and then it says manage permissions. There's like a little box or manage global permissions.
Is these accounts that are linked to Amazon?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
might be
mine
to do
is.
with the connection to Amazon. It might just be that there's
Oh,
something
yeah.
that's linking that's not doing it accurately. So they need more information to link it, but you don't actually have to have it linked.
Yeah, you can link Jungle Scout. I forgot that. That's a good point, Becky. So it could be something to do with logging your Amazon account. But I would just reach out to them and ask them
Yeah.
anyway.
All right. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm looking for a wetsuit. Didn't realise I was typing in here.
Good job with the wetsuit.
Right, I think that's it for the questions. So let me know what is going to help you. Let me know if anyone's got any burning questions or anything that's stopping them moving forward that they're unsure on.
Do you know what the average sort of ship price is with Amazon? I know you can say what's the weight, what's the size, but compared to having your own carriers, I mean, carriers are currently
So
charging
much cheaper.
like £3 a box, so whereas you'd be paying 6, 7 quid with DPD, that kind of difference.
My box is 30 centimeters by 50. No, I don't know what it is now.
That's small. That's like express bag size.
It's a decent sized box. It cost me about £2.50.
Yeah, that's little stuff. I'm thinking like stuff that's 15 kilo, 20 kilo.
Oh no, we're only 4.
We used to pay about £3-4 a box. In the last 18 months, 2 years, the prices for DPD, DHL have gone through the roof, and we're just getting screwed.
All I know is that, like, it normally just a small box, because obviously I do it directly from China, and they're starting to do UPS from China, but I'm too scared to use it because I feel like the Chinese relationships that I built up, they're going to
Oh,
be
you'll lose them.
hating me because I'm not using their shipping, and I'm now going to go over to big old Amazon. But I think from what I'd seen, it's even cheaper from China using UPS. But I'm just too scared to. I don't know. I think I'm just like I need to get out of my traditional ways. But compared to, like, say I was going to go to, I'm trying to think, like, because I don't do much of this from home. I just now do UPS. But I remember it was something like, say it was going to be like 10 quid, 2 quid, so much cheaper, like the postal difference than it will. But
Yeah,
I don't know with heavy stuff because I've not done that kind of.
Well, we used to fill a 7-tonner every day on platinum service, but the rates are so expensive. It's cheap. Anyway, I won't go into it.
Yeah.
I just want to get a feel for what I mean. I know they're going to be cheaper. I'm just wondering by what magnitude. If you knew what the average was.
Yeah, I just haven't done it.
I'll get rolling, and over the next few months, I'll start putting some.
Yeah, when you
I'll
start,
put-
be
I'll
good
put
for
some
you to do it on the
comparisons.
table and see exactly.
I'll do comparisons using DHL, DPD, Parcel Force, and Amazon, and we'll just build the grid up and see what happens.
Yeah, that'd be good. My team order is just is saying just being handed over at customers. How much longer do you think it'll be? You are the Temu experts.
Well, sorry, I missed part of what you said.
How have I become the Temu queen? You've got like all of this experience. So when it says being handed over at customs, how long is it till then?
Oh, it's in this country.
Yeah.
It'll
If it says
probably
being handed over at customs,
it'll probably be 1 or 2 days, but they'll tell you when the courier's got it.
so when the courier's got it, it's normally like a day.
The little ones
Well,
have gone through quicker,
yeah,
but the big ones are longer.
I'd say 2 or 3 days maybe.
Okay.
That's not good.
But can I don't know if you spotted in the chat that I didn't try it on the computer, but if you're on the Temu app on your phone, which is the better one for getting deals, you can, if you just put in the search bar local warehouse, I think it was. I've written it down somewhere, or I can put it in the group. It'll bring up everything that's local in this country already.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So then, oh, sorry, I'm not with it yet. Yeah, it'll just be a few days to get it. Did that make any sense?
Yeah.
Right.
Claire,
This doesn't-
go for it with the calculator.
Okay, so I can't put someone else's item in as my item because my item as my item doesn't exist on Amazon. It only exists as two individual things. So I was using the, shall I screen share?
Yeah, yeah.
Using the calculator thingy. And can you see it? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
no. I'm just guessing these for the minute, but I will know eventually. It's about that. What do I put in this box?
That's the how much it's costing you to send into Amazon.
And how do I know that per one item?
It's
Or how would I guess that?
you would how big is the item? How many? It's all going to go in one box, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a toilet roll tube, and then the sellotape dispenser is only a small one.
How
I mean,
many
if
you
it's
send
team you, it could be this big. So I think from from measurements I've seen, the sellotape dispenser is about the same size.
Okay,
It's like
so
2 toilet roll tubes, I guess, and I've
how
got 30
many
of
are
them.
how many are you sending in?
30
So I reckon it's going to be anywhere between 2 to 3 quid, right?
for the whole 30.
Yeah.
So do
So
I divide that by the
let's go for 3. To be on the bigger side, it's
Yeah.
0.1.
Oh, so it's no, so 10p then.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I was getting. That's what I was getting stuck at. And then is this what I'm selling it for, this one?
Yeah.
So I don't know. So then I'd put that in and then that's it, right? I'm there now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did it before and it came up at like 22%, but I'm at the point where I don't care what it makes. I'm just learning the process and it is what it is. Again, I guess the weights and the measurements, so it might not be that, but it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Let's look at your Amazon fees. So your Amazon fees are like 5.
VAT's at 20 still.
Oh yeah.
Should that not be?
Yeah, take that off. And then
Should
that
that just be 0?
yeah.
If you're not VAT registered, it's 0.
You're not far from 30, you're not far off 30.
I think before when I was
It just depends when it arrives at Amazon or once you do your listing and you put all the exact weights in.
Yeah. But at least now know which is which, because I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. How do I know the delivery? You're meant to be telling me the delivery, but I get it. It's not delivering from Amazon to the customer. It's me delivering it to them. So that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Cool. No worries.
What on earth do people do who haven't got you around to do all this? It's just mind-blowingly complex in a
They
nice
sit
way.
at home skint, don't they? With proper jobs at Tesco's.
So that's why though the bureaucracy has got worse on Amazon because I think there's a lot of people that don't know what they're doing trying to list and mess up the system. Do you know what I
And they're
mean?
making money from it, I suppose. Probably.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that there's I don't know. Like I used to have. I think a few of you have been offered an account manager, but it is sometimes tricky knowing if they are. What you don't want is sometimes I fell for this. Like Amazon emailed me and said, "Oh, if you do paid ads, you're gonna get a lot more sales and this that, and the other." Right in the early days, and I was just about to do paid ads, so I ended up having this like ad person from Amazon doing all these campaigns and showing me what to do, and I spent an absolute fortune, didn't get a return. So I then taught myself and learned and went on different courses on paid ads, which is something you can do to boost your sales, but you want to make sure that you get in the organic basic first, because if you're going to boost a shit conversion, you're just going to spend more and not get there. You know what I mean? You want to make sure the keywords are right. You're getting the conversions before you boost it. And the great thing about Christmas time, and we're going to come to this with sales marketing, so I'm just telling you everything with this week. But you can do like an ad to boost it for like Black Friday, but with a lot of Christmas items. Like one of the girls last year who missed Black Friday sold out in like 6 days and then regretted doing an ad. She'd done an ad and it was like 6 days later, 50 units are gone. Whereas they would have sold anyway because the demand was there. So this is the great thing with like, Elf on the Shelf and Christmas bundles and presents, there's the demand, so we don't need to be doing all of these ads, but we may want to just sort of do it on launch just for a few days.
Are they just a yes or no answer? Are they ads similar to KDP ads?
Yeah, they're exactly the same.
I've done them, so that's
Oh, yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
I think they perform better because I think with books, usually selling between sort of 10, 15 quid, you haven't got much profit to play with. Whereas when you're selling something for, say, 25, 30, you've got a lot more room, haven't you? So with the books, you've got to be really careful with your spend, you know.
Or bundle them.
Yeah. Well, you can't bundle them because they're print on demand, the books.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you can't, yeah.
Sonia's saying we sent 2 boxes last week for our stationery business. Both were 20 kilos, 50 by 30 by 30, and it cost £4.48 in total. Okay, so that's a bit of a heavier one. So just for Dylan. Anybody else got any questions?
As long as there's not a lead weight in each of the tape dispensers.
Say that again. What was that?
As long as there's not like a lead weight in each of the tape dispensers to hold them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm up for it.
Or
I'm here
lift
for
the
all the
right.
challenges. Like, do you know what I
Well,
mean?
it's-
Throw it at me.
Yeah, forklift at your house.
Well, they're doing all of the drones in the US. Amazon delivery with drones. So you've got to just have a backyard that's secure, and then like a landing pad in your back garden, basically, for the drone to
You
land.
can imagine all the things people nicking, all the no marks that's taking the drones out.
I know, exactly.
Cancer states.
So
Yeah.
Suzanne's saying they're usually heavy. Oh, they are heavy, are they?
Is that what Claire's doing? Tape dispensers?
Yeah, it's a mini one though, so I don't
Oh,
think
like not like the proper big ones, though.
yeah.
How's everyone getting on with photos? Is everyone okay? There's been some fab photos being shared. And I've seen Gail and Becky and everybody like commenting their thoughts. Anyone want to ask anything about photos or anything else before we finish off?
How many more days? What are the days we doing? Just like I've lost track.
So we have tomorrow is about the Amazon marketplace and understanding your way around it and the algorithm and the terms of service and things that I sometimes have not said to people and made an assumption that people know. So just things like, like it's a big no-no, like buying your own product, which I know sounds obvious, but sometimes people at the beginning get so excited and their husband buys it and then they give them a review and then the next thing their account's in the tatters. So just explain a few things about that. And then on Tuesday, we're going to be doing about your launch. When it arrives into Amazon, what are your next steps to maximize sales? So all your sort of launch and marketing. And then that's it. It's just going to be support calls to get people through to, because some people have already done their labels and they're sending off. Other people are still working on their listings. So I'm just going to work with the group where everyone's at just to keep getting you through to getting your stock into Amazon and live.
I still don't understand that with, like how with algorithms with Facebook and Google, how they always work against you when you're new. Do you think that, or do you know whether Amazon deliberately give us a fairer platform when you first join them as a mini merchant? Otherwise, you wouldn't stand a chance, would you, with no reviews and no track record?
Yeah, exactly. You've got to build up your seller feedback. So that's why.
Do they actually make it more level? Because normally you'd say, well, you've got no reviews, you've got no track history.
It only matters if you break the rules. So, and if you're doing retail arbitrage where you're selling someone else's brand and you all jump on the same listing, that's the person who wins the buy box is the person who's got the best feedback, been selling for a while. But as a brand owner,
So it's our niche. So the key with this, just to reflect then, is the absolute nicheness of what we're doing is this success key.
Yeah, and yeah, and also not doing other people's brands, not being a reseller. you know,
Oh, yeah.
actually being a brand owner.
Don't want other people's brands, do we?
There's a lot of people who do the reselling type of thing, their account gets slashed for different things, you know, 'cause it's just less in control really. Whereas you're more in control when you create your own brand. But what they do is when you launch your product, they recognise that that's a new product in the market. They don't put it at the end of the catalogue.
Oh, okay, that's what I meant. Yeah, they
Give it a good chance for you to. They put you in a good position right at the beginning. So that's why your first few weeks live are really important.
But when we're using Jungle Scout to look for something very similar to what we're doing, isn't that giving the game away with the ASIN and the kind of identifiers of what code it is?
What do you mean?
Like we're trying to say that we're completely unique, but nothing really is unique. It's just newer.
It's just a differentiation, isn't it? People can copy your differentiation because they see, hey, that's a good angle.
But what about if you're both coming from the same factory, but it's got a different label on it? How does that
What do you mean? Like, as in the actual.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like Amazon's really clever algorithms. It's going to look at something using the whole AI thing. Well, that looks just like the other 16 we've got across the world. They're all from the same factory, weaving or making.
That's why I don't give my supplier details on my listing.
Yeah, one. But if anything else we can do to be careful with.
I think it's just more like if you've got like a packaging or your own branding or you've bundled something together, that's the differentiation, isn't it? And
So we don't need to go too paranoid, then just repack. Okay.
Exactly. And I think the future is creating a trademark. You know, once you've tested all these things, I think it's better to have a home and kitchen product, maybe a beauty product, a sports and fitness product, test and learn at the beginning. And then once you like, actually, I really want to build a brand in home and kitchen or sports and fitness, whatever it is, then go in for listing with a brand. And then the next thing would be, right, you've got 3 or 4 products now. Now I want to have a trademark.
And are there any no-nos in creating a new brand if it's actually matched to a domain name or anything? Does that work against you or for you?
I think it's totally separate from Google, Amazon, but I think it's quite good because people will search for it, won't they?
That's what I meant. But I mean, how far can we push? Are there any tips you've got on that, and how far we can push when we're doing bouncing ideas to create a new brand?
I think it's just a good. I would just say to be able to. I've tested ads going to my own website, and my Amazon sales go up. So I think the two are linked, even if the algorithm isn't linked.
Yeah.
So I think it makes sense to have. Amazon will recognize that when you're doing all your store and everything like that, because you can put your website in.
And as long as you're in the right classification for your trademark registration, they'll be okay with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's good because you can get US approval from that UK trademark.
Oh yeah, it's just I'm envisioning getting another clash with EasyJet again. So
if you go on to amazon.com/live, you get to see all the brand influencers.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the TikTok lives where they're all demonstrating. A lot of them are big YouTubers or TikTokers that are partnering with different brands to demonstrate their product. It's like a QVC channel. And that's the future, really. Once you've got, the future is you've got your trademark, you've got a whole store then, and then you can use video ads. You're in this elite status as regards to Amazon. You can go into the influencer program and all that kind of stuff. So they really want people to be focusing on brands. They want to get rid of all the Chinese unbranded cheap products. That's why I prefer it from eBay, because eBay is like your bargain basement. It's about price, whereas Amazon, it's more like your Waitrose, isn't it? Really, even though there are cheap products.
Even though Amazon's sourcing everything direct out of factories.
So Amazon are for their own brands, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, their policy is anyway. That's another day.
Yeah. I just think your own branding, private label brand is the way to go on Amazon.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, exactly. I can see that in the future for you, Becky, with your trademark and shop, etc., because it's done really well on Etsy. So, and Dylan's like, ring me.
I've looked at the website. I found your website now. I know what you do. Old Buffy.
Cool. All right then. Well, I will see you tomorrow. And just keep reaching out because we want to basically be, as soon as we can get our listing up and our barcodes on and our shipping stuff, you know, sent into Amazon, the better. And I know obviously not everyone's at that stage, like with Claire and a few of you, like Carolyn, who are thinking, right, what product am I going to go through now? Because I've, you know, I've been disappointed with this one, but we just, yeah, basically if the support's here. I know Claire has obviously reached out to me with her about her account. Carolyn, reach out and let's get everyone back on track and just rocking and rolling this week and beyond, of course.
Can I say one other thing in my capacity as the Temu queen?
Well,
Because I was just thinking then that some of you have had uncomfortable experiences with Temu, but this is the first part of when you start buying from Temu that you go through, and you start to understand what products will come bashed up, or there's no point ordering that kind of thing. So don't give up on Temu just because you've had a product that you don't like. That's how I've got to find the ones that are good.
yeah,
You
good point.
know, and you can use the competitions to get samples and try things.
And also remember that you're using Temu, but then what you want to really do is then go to Alibaba and be buying
Exactly, yeah.
better quality, bigger quantities afterwards.
But you know what I found with the sticks? So if I was buying them in thousands through Alibaba and the factories,
Laughing at Claire's comment, a Temu initiation.
don't make me laugh, my body can't go. It's still, once you put the postage on, you know, the shipping, it still works out cheaper for me to get them through Temu, and they're exactly the same shit. And I used a code. Claire asked about codes last week, the coupons. So I managed to get 30 sticks today, free shipping, no import fees. I bought 30 and got 30 quid off. So they ended up working out about £2.33 each, which to do from China, I'd have to buy a lot more. You know what I mean? So for this stage of business,
exactly. For smaller quantities, you may find,
yeah.
But that's what Lisa did in my Amazon one group. She had 50 units. She got them all from Temu, even the boxes from Temu. And now she's at the stage where she's getting like 200 for the UK and 300 for the US. So she'd ordered 500. So it then has made sense of that volume to go to China and using my agents and all that. Cool. All right, great stuff. I will see you guys at the same time tomorrow. And as I say, there'll be some stuff around Amazon, the marketplace and the algorithm and all that kind of stuff, and the do's and don'ts is tomorrow's task really to read through. But just keep me posted on where everyone's at and what their sticking points are, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, thanks folks. Bye.
Okay.